The Sunbeam Alpine channel, a video workshop manual for the Alpine.
Here we are in
Oily Puddle's garage.
once again looking at Alpine. We've been doing consistently about 160 miles a week all year round for over a year, so we've put quite a lot of miles on Alpine recently, and she's been trouble free. But we've started to get a knock on the drivetrain when we take up acceleration or when we decelerate. It sounds as though the universal joints are worn out, but they're not. I'm starting to suspect the differential. Here you can see the wear. It seems to go really tight and then really loose again. To remove a differential from an Alpine, you need to have enough width to work on each side, because you need to take the half shaft out of one side and then the half shaft out of the other side. And to do that in a single width garage is very difficult. So we're going to go down to Arrow 5 in Hampshire, where they've got the spare parts and they've got the expertise, and hopefully we're going to be able to get the differential out and find out exactly what the problem is and get Alpine back to how she should be.
Paul and Chad get to work diagnosing Alpine.
Hold the other wheel.
Yeah, you can hold it. That's right. Just if you hold.
If that,
Bit of play. That seems that centre bit
if
is
the
more
pinion
than
nut has come
normal.
loose, it would have done some damage to that. In a bit.
The differential will have to come out and be replaced. First, remove the 4 bolts securing the prop shaft and withdraw it from the gearbox. Chad fits a cap to the gearbox tail to stop any oil escaping and keep dirt out.
Yeah, that's in there.
Paul drains the diff and fits a magnet into the sump plug to catch any future swarf.
Just put that on there. Put the tiny magnet in the bottom, and then there.
Yeah.
The rear brakes are carefully stripped down. A slide hammer is attached to the wheel studs and the half shaft and bearing are pulled out. Repeat for the other side.
See, some of them would even just like you could just knock it with a bronze mallet, and it would just drop out.
Yeah.
Other axles that I've had on the floor, and we've been heating them up with 2 blow torches, pounding them forever and ever and ever, hammering it around the outside.
Now the nuts securing the differential unit are undone. The differential unit can now be removed.
Yeah, sorry. 10 by 37. Ah, it's a 3.7.
The differential is a rare 3.7, which was a surprise. We thought it was a 3.89.
It's there. 10 by 37.
The 3.7 differential was never fitted to an Alpine as standard.
See it on there? Yeah, 10 times 3.7.
The differential is not turning freely, it's partially seized.
Very stiff, very stiff. Very stiff, then it'll move, then not stiff, then stiff, then not stiff, then stiff. Can't move it when I rock, but it doesn't want to move, it's seized. But if I rock hard enough, yep, it'll free off. And now it will turn.
Arrow 5 had a good used 3.7 diff on the shelf. Remember, 3.7 diff was never fitted to an Alpine as standard. Alpines had 4.22 or 3.89 ratios. Roots only fitted 3.7 diffs to later high-performance models. If you do this, ensure that your engine is capable of pulling such high gearing. Alpi is bored to plus 60, the block and head are skimmed. She has the Vizard head modification and the Club Weber carb setup. She pulls this gearing with no problem.
Just for the sake of the video, see, just when this has been sat in the drawer for ages, and that just turns nicely.
Yeah.
That one's got like a notch to it.
It's
when you
really
wanna
tight.
start
This
off.
one, I'm really trying to turn that, and it would rather turn the body than turn the front wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, and you feel you can listen to the spider gears.
Yeah.
They're smoother. So there it is. Bit weak. See, 10
Yeah.
by 3.7 now.
Yeah.
Everything is cleaned, lubricated and rebuilt with new gaskets.
Doesn't help the fact that they're a certain grade of stainless.
The replacement 3.7 diff is installed into the axle.
I'll do the other side after.
Right, where's the nuts then? Right, yeah, stick it on.
The Series 5 has an oil seal on the outside of the wheel bearing. Paul adds extra sealant to the axle to ensure it is oil tight.
Some people might say it's not necessary, you don't need to do stuff, but for the sake of tuppence worth of treatment.
Absolutely.
Now to refit the half shafts.
Are you Ed?
Right, you got to sort of float it and feel in the end. Right, that's the bearing up to the end of the face. Right, we know that that's about there.
Do you want me to pull some of these nuts and bolts out?
Yeah, this is what we want on. That's that on there. Right, now we can bolt that up.
Replace the bolts in the back plate and build up the brakes. Repeat for the other side.
Do this easy one. We'll wind it out and then
Refill with EP 85 to 90 gear oil. It's at the correct level when it runs out of the filler hole. Now bleed the brakes and set up the handbrake.
down,
Down,
up,
up,
down.
Wheels back on, test drive the car.
1, 2, 3, 4. Bottom. On the bottom.
In part 2 of this video, we will show you what Alpine drives like with the 3.7 diff. You're watching the Sunbeam Alpine channel, the video workshop manual for the Alpine.